I can't show you no love, baby. Yeah, I am a boss in the cut, mayday. Bubbles and
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now a first carry for T.J. Yeldon. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Get down. 185.
On play action, now Carr. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 24-yard. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. A first down carry now for Yeldon. And down inside the 15 he goes. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it's going to be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Calais Campbell breaking through to get him for a loss of 7.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. On 2nd down, here's Carr. This is Yeldon on the dump off. Yeldon fighting. He lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me, because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. They have the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here.
Hey, 7:34.
So after the fumble recovery, it's Carr. This is caught. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
24.
Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. As his guys are in for 6, and the Jags have taken the early lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
This will be fielded at the 6. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at about the 32. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Back 22.
To throw on 2nd is Watson. Man open, that's Kiki QT complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. It's a big play on 3rd down for the Texans. And even 40 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On 1st down, Drake. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Dante Fowler in on the stop.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
On 2nd down, it's Drake. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. And he's going to battle his way down right around the 2-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The first carry for C.J. Procise. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
They only need a yard here. 3rd down and 1 after the penalty. On the handoff, this is Procise. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Line of scrimmage, the 2. They can still get a first down if they just get a yard out of this on 4th and very short. They will indeed snap it to Watson. And did he get the feet down? No. They'll say he did not. It's incomplete. The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on 4th. And that will force a turnover on downs. They'll run for the first time with Sony Michel. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Yeldon. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. A gain of a yard gets them back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10. In his own end zone, it's Carr. That one complete to D.D. Westbrook. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. They were looking for a little spark and some breathing room. They got it right there, a gain of 14 and a first down. So that last play gives them a little more space now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Lee's got it over the middle. 11 more on that one and another first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Throwing on first down is Carr. They'll wind up losing a full 10 yards on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. Carr to throw on 2nd down. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And they'll stop him at the 1-yard line, but small consolation there following the turnover.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, these are going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
They'll try and pound it in with Drake. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and goal. He's going to get it running right. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
Under 4 to play now. Clock running. 3rd down. On the give, this is Drake. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. Tavecchio puts this one through, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver, because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down.
And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Zach Cunningham in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Gonna let it fly for Rudolph. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now a play fake. Carr. Now he'll turn and throw deep back to the other side. And got his man. Complete. 20. 10. 5. Touchdown. Jaguars. A big play there. 84 yards. And the Jaguars add on to their lead. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, here's Watson. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That goes for a gain of 31. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 1st down, Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Telvin Smith. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. It's a pickup of 3, and we have now arrived at the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. On 2nd down, Michelle. And they'll stop him right on the midfield stripe. Calais Campbell on the stop.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
From midfield, here's Carr. Flushed out right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
Definitely worth taking another deep shot here. He's already found the end zone twice here in the first half.
Yeah, go back to that same well. They've had trouble containing him, but able to contain him on that play. This is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short. Here's Procise. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
On first down, it's Watson. And that is incomplete. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. He's going to air one out. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. A big play there just before halftime. 57 yards. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there isn't a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
He's going to get it running right. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there as the first half is winding down. And the Texans draw a bit closer. And he's got it. That cuts the lead. It's now 14-10. The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. This is taken at his 4. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Here's Carr. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Marquise Lee, the intended target. And that'll bring up second down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
7:34.
Carr again here on 2nd and 10. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Jaguars out on top as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach. The Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in the second half. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And here comes the Texans now. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
The drive starts with C.J. Procise. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Richmond. Down. Green, the line. Green, the line. Come back.
Here's Watson now on second down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Telvin Smith. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Again, it's Michel. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now a first down carry. It's Michel. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
On the handoff, it's Michel, and that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Trying to pound it in here with Michel. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
7:34.
Now they'll throw with Carr. Escaping the pressure. And, oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Andre Howell. And a short return to the 6-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So now second and 10 after the incompletion on first down. On the toss play, this is Drake. And a nice pickup as this one gets him to the 10-yard line. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a third down and 6 to go.
I have to think a major focus at the halftime means had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yep.
And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. Ooh. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about Hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Keeping it on the ground on first, Michelle. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Looking to throw on second down. Caught. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Zach Cunningham in there to get him for his second sack of the night. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. To throw, it's Carr. He's going to air one out. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is third down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
They'll start the drive with Drake. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times, and he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Dante Fowler in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. After the sack, they'll come up now third and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Down. Black 22. Black 22.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And this will be scooped up in the end zone. A defender gets there, and it's a touchdown. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room. Boy, they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave him a comfortable lead.
Now Carr, it's caught at the 1. And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them, the coaches from all the way up here. They were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for him.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Whitney Merciless leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And did the Jaguars come up with it? They did. Holding on to the football becoming a little bit of an issue. He had 2 fumbles last week, remember.
I played for a guy that used to talk all the time about creating turbulence in the pocket, making the quarterback jumpy, make him antsy, keep getting after him a little bit, and make sure he thinks about holding on to the ball because you're going after him.
This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. That'll bring up second and goal after the gain of 5.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space for the football.
And he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. Sony Michel, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jags take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. Back now in Houston, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And a penalty marker's down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive. Now, this is going to put them back with not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
Now a handoff for Drake. Got some room at the 30. And now nothing but green ahead of him. The 30, 10, for touchdown, Houston. A great play there, 83 yards. And the Texans cut into that lead. Tavecchio good on the extra point. And the lead will be cut down to 14. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Jaguars offense now heads back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Carr now on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now. They'll try to run for it with Yeldon. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences, and intercepted, maybe the turning point they need. He's picked off at his own 46. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Wait a second. They did not accept that after the incompletion. Your look is just as puzzled as mine.
I got nothing for you here. You have to take that penalty, don't you?
It's free yards. Now Drake. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. A shotgun snap for Watson. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. On 1st and goal, Drake. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs, and they come up on 2nd down. To throw is Watson. Looking to throw on 2nd down. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by the linebacker, Telvin Smith. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
With the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it was against Washington or Rex Grossman.
That's correct. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Now Carr, and that's off the mark, incomplete.
I think that's a big-time play there because the slant route is really hard to cover because the timing is so quick, but able to see it, diagnose it, and get to the football. That's why he's able to bat it away.
The Jaguars on third down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Now it's the backup Tannehill. Eluding the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep and intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
After the interception, here's Watson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. On 2nd and 10, Watson. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Watson now perfect since the second half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Watson looks to throw again. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Jalen Ramsey. And now running right through it. And the return will stop them well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
They'll start out on the ground. It's T.J. Yeldon. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
50-50.
From the gun, here's Tannehill. He's going to sling this deep downfield. He's got a man, complete. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game. So hold on here, not done in the 4th. And it looks like this will be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Following the fumble recovery, Tannehill. He'll get this over to Westbrook. It's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, The defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Throwing now, Tannehill. Escapes the sack. Oh, he stays up, but now he's swallowed up and taken down.
I don't know what you were seeing on that play, but it felt to me like I wasn't watching a football field. I was watching a boxing ring. He was bobbing and weaving and trying to make sure he kept the play alive. Just didn't turn out well for him in the end, did it?
Impressive that he stayed in the pocket while avoiding those couple of would-be tacklers, but eventually goes down. Trying to lay one up deep. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Drake will start the drive on the ground. Finding room at the 30 and all the way up to the 35-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Now on first down, Drake again. Shows us it's a foot race. 30, past the 20. And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter. The lefty Tavecchio now to add the extra point. Extra point up and good by Tavecchio. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. 25 seconds to go. A must recover if they're going to have any chance. And this is going to be recovered by the Jaguars. And that should just about do it. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Tannehill going to throw it. He's going to rifle one deep left side. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead. You've got to protect it. And he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line.